For a long time, I thought a good life just meant doing things you like every day. I thought to myself, if I can just do the things I enjoy, play video games, work out, eat delicious food, chase women, and just live in nonstop entertainment, pleasure, and comfort until the day I die, then that's a good life. That that's what I should be aiming for, right? But what I found was when I actually started living that kind of life, I just felt empty. Now, I don't think most people sit down and literally think to themselves, you know, the meaning of life is just to chase pleasure and comfort. But I do think a lot of us live that way. Whether it's food, drugs, relationships, social media, movies, video games, or whatever else, right? We drown ourselves in these things every free chance we get. We go to work, come home, distract ourselves with pleasure. Go to work, come home, distract ourselves with pleasure. Rinse and repeat until the day we die. And it's like we enter life thinking that this is just how things work. Chase pleasure, chase comfort, avoid pain, repeat. And that somehow that's supposed to be enough to live a good life. And that's exactly how I used to approach my life. At one point, I lived I lived an almost perfect version of that lifestyle. I had an easy job, I had almost no real bills, no real financial stress. I just went to the gym, I ate basically whatever I wanted, played video games, watched movies, hung out with girls. I just chased pleasure, right? And for a while, that was basically all my life was work, gym, food, entertainment, pleasure, comfort, repeat. I was doing almost everything I wanted whenever I wanted. I was living the life I thought would make me happy. But the weird thing was, it didn't make me happy. Despite having the life I thought I wanted, something still felt wrong. I felt I felt this void. I felt this hole, this emptiness in my heart and in my soul. I don't know how else to put it. Um, and I remember just laying in bed at night, staring at the ceiling and thinking to myself, I have everything I thought I wanted. So why does it still feel like something is missing? And that's when I realized, right? A good life is not good just because we do things we like all the time. A good life is good because it means something. It's not built on chasing constant pleasure and comfort. It's built on pursuing something meaningful. The void I was feeling, right? The emptiness, the hole I felt in my heart and in my soul was there because my life lacked meaning. And it didn't matter how much comfort and pleasure I had in my life. Until I had a meaningful goal or mission to pursue, that emptiness was never going to go away. And then I realized why exactly pleasure and comfort could never fill that void. Because meaning demands something from us. Meaning asks us to give ourselves to something, to sacrifice for something, to struggle for something. I realized that a meaningful life consists of overcoming something difficult to achieve something good. And when pleasure and comfort become the goal of your life, they train you to avoid the things meaning usually requires, right? Struggle, sacrifice, discipline, responsibility, commitment. Pleasure and comfort can never carry the weight of meaning. Because when you worship pleasure and comfort, you end up running from the very things that give life meaning. I mean, just look at boxing, for example. If you stepped into the ring and knew for certain that you were going to win without having to do anything, right? Like you just knew your opponent was going to instantly forfeit the match, the win would mean nothing because there was no risk. There was no struggle, no difficulty, no uncertainty you had to overcome, right? But if you step into the ring knowing there's a chance you might lose, there's a chance you might get knocked out, and you know you're going to have to push through pain, fear, exhaustion, and you end up winning, then that win actually means something. Why though? Well, because you had to overcome something difficult to achieve something good. You had to fight. You had to struggle. You had to push to earn your win. It wasn't just handed to you, it demanded something from you, right? It required sacrifice. And that's what makes it meaningful. A life built around avoiding all struggle leaves you just feeling empty. Now, I want to be very clear here. I'm not saying that doing things you enjoy is bad. That's not my point. I believe that to live a truly good life, you absolutely need to spend some time doing things you genuinely enjoy. But you can't make pleasure and comfort the foundation of your life. They're meant to be enjoyed as like rewards and forms of rest while you go after something meaningful. You know, if you want to play some video games, enjoy some dessert, or just chill out and relax after you've been grinding, that's totally fine. That's well deserved, right? I'm not going against that. But those things, right? That pleasure, that comfort can never become the focus and foundation of your life. Because pleasure and comfort, right? They're like seasoning on a dish. They add flavor. They make the food taste better, right? But you would never want like you would never just want a plate of just seasoning on its own. The real main dish has to be there first. The same way you need meaning in your life first. Then you can add the things you enjoy. And when I finally realized that pleasure and comfort weren't going to give my life meaning, I I I stopped worshiping pleasure. I stopped chasing it like it was the point of my life. I stopped asking myself, what feels good? Does this feel good? I stopped asking myself that all the time. And instead, I started asking myself, what actually matters, right? Who am I becoming? Who am I helping? What am I overcoming? How can I make this world a better place meaningfully, right? I stopped uh I stopped looking at all pain and struggle as things to automatically avoid. I I started realizing that sometimes they were actually signs I was pushing towards something meaningful. I stopped running away from obstacles and I started embracing the difficulty of things. I stopped letting fear of failure control my decisions. I've stopped measuring my life by how good I felt, and I started measuring it rather by what I was pushing toward. And over time, that void in my heart and soul that I was feeling started to close. I I didn't I didn't feel empty all the time anymore because my life was finally pointed towards something meaningful. And so I want to end the video with this. All right. Pleasure and comfort are not evil. They make life sweet. They can refresh you. They can help you rest. But alone, they're too weak to give your life meaning because meaning asks something from you. It asks for sacrifice, discipline, responsibility, struggle, commitment. And a pleasure centered life avoids those things. You can't make the primary focus of your life to just chase pleasure and expect to live a fulfilling life. And so ask yourself honestly, are you chasing something meaningful in your life? Or are you just trying to feel pleasure every day until you die? Enjoy pleasure, but chase meaning.